So, yeah, welcome to this masterclass entitled "Digital Transformation in the Textile Sector." I'm André Martins. I'm a researcher in Intelligent Manufacturing System in IDM Research Institute, part of the Technological University of the Shannon in Ireland. My background is in electrical engineering, specifically in robotics and automation fields. For the last 7 to 8 years, I've been working in digitalization projects, collaborating internationally as a researcher on my areas of expertise, while also preparing and delivering upskilling training for industry on these topics. So my role here today is a moderator of the session, as well as presenting the MOOC, the digital path, specifically this session, like Marta mentioned. This is how our agenda is organized today. So I will start with the presentation of the MOOC, then other four companies mentioned on the slide will be having a 10-minute slot each, and I will ask to keep track of the time, and I will remind if you are running out of time on the last minutes, just ask you to keep an eye on that for me. And at the end, there will be a Q&A session for all the questions related with the presentations. So yeah, it will be about the digital paths, but a quick recap here. So what is ADDTEX? ADDTEX is an Erasmus Plus project funded by the European Union within the key actions related with result-driven activities between higher educational institutes and vocational education and training, research, public sector, and businesses to generate innovation in teaching, learning, and co-creation of knowledge in the field of advanced textile materials. That's the focus here, with the aim of creating innovative training and learning materials on the field, and a sense of initiatives and entrepreneurship in learners and workers, and also to reinforce the role of clusters as bridge between the world of education and business. About the MOOC. What is the MOOC? Within the project goals one of them was to create a MOOC, a massive open online course, and its related training platform. This online platform was organized in 3 learning paths: smart, digital, and green, and we'll be talking about the digital one here today. The previous session 1 month ago was about the smart transition. Today's session about the digital transition, and as Marta was mentioning, the following and last session will be on the 7th of May around the green transition. The digital transition learning path covers at different levels of complexity key concepts of digitalization in the textile industry, including key technologies that enable digitalization of various processes. The aim of the digital path, this one, is to equip participants with the necessary knowledge and skills to drive digitalization within their organizations. These modules can be undertaken by industry professionals from different levels of education or background, as I will be mentioning in the following slides. Yeah, the target groups are divided into 3. Technicians and graduates. Completing this module, they will acquire operations focused on practical concepts and skills with immediate applicability. Then we have the engineers and professionals. Completing this module, they will acquire in-depth technical concepts and skills able to impact current and future operations at the company level. And also for managers and mentors, completing this module, they will acquire core concepts and skills with a corporate and company-wide scope with a potential to impact on companies' cultures and policies. The content is organized, these 3 target groups are organized with the same structure by 5 each learning units. They follow same topics, but with same specifications in terms of the target group. So My colleague Catherine will be sharing later on the chat the link to the online platform in case you want to check later the available modules and if you want to enroll and go through one of them, feel free for that. And going through those modules, you will see they follow this structure I have here on the tables. I will not go through all this now because we are running a bit out of time here for all the speakers. But as you can see, they follow a very similar format with different specific details for target groups, different target groups. But the key learning outcomes that are common for all of them is developing technical and operational expertise in digital tools and process, understanding how digitalization impacts business models and competitiveness, and applying digital technologies to improve production, maintenance, and marketing strategies. That's the key learning outcomes out of this MOOC, the Digital Path MOOC. To wrap up my presentation, I have this word cloud here, the importance of digitalization, why digitalization matter. So here the meaning of this word cloud for me is while different organizations start their digitalization journeys with one goal or priority in mind, eventually through the implementations of these different technologies, the benefits are reflected in multiple ways on the organization that they were not expecting initially. And also I would like to point out the importance of having a plan and do a proper research before jumping into a specific solution, into a specific software or product. So this world cloud does not supposed to mean hopefully confusion, but instead different benefits offered by digitalization. Again, just as a reminder and finishing here the next session about the green path will be on the 7th of May. You can use this QR code to register now. And thank you for your attention. Unfortunately, Paul couldn't present at this time today, but he shared with us a video with his presentation that will be playing now.
Hello everyone and welcome to this masterclass on digital transformation and artificial intelligence in industrial environments. My name is Pau. I'm CEO of MACCION, and my job and my passion is to help industrial companies improve their operations through digital tools and AI. First of all, I want to apologize for not being here able to attend this session live. But I want to thank ADDTEX and especially ADDTEX Textiles for inviting me. And today I'll be sharing a set of real-world experiences, so real clients, real challenges, and real results. So, something that we have been doing, me or my team. And the achievements of this is create value. So reducing waste, improving quality, or gaining better control in the operation. Let me quickly introduce who we are at MACCION. We develop smart solutions that help industrial companies to achieve the excellence in their production and logistic processes. So we combine technological innovation, so smart sensors, machine vision, AI, with proven management methodologies, and always aligned with lean manufacturing. So you have a vision. You want to boost your factory, your warehouse. You want to be applying smart industry concepts, advanced platform concepts and ideas. So you attend to this kind of webinars, you learn, you want to apply this. So, and you also want to be leading the adoption of AI in your industrial processes as well. So From a strategic point of view, yeah, the goal is clear. I think we all want to reduce cost, you want to optimize flows, you want to improve traceability, and you want to have a decision making. So, but you have your own reality. You step into a real factory, and you realize that every company has its own context, limitations, and its own rhythm as well. So that's my approach is going step by step, getting wrapped with the best partners and team, and please have your own roadmap as well. You won't be uh, ending up like the picture above. Okay. And the way for achieving this is having a good project management. Here I'll share with you my concepts, but I will move forward. And I also want to bring you with this brief concept that for me is important is having uh, a good data platform for Industry 4.0. So it is important to split how we pick the data from the machines, from the OT systems, and what we do with that information. I think it's very important to isolate for the systems to interact between them. And of course, it's time for talking about the artificial intelligence. Here I share with you my own classifications and concepts, but feel free to move something that does not fit for you. But things I think it's important is to remark where generative AI, so GPT, where it is a subset of what artificial intelligence has been through years, not just now. I want to tell you about expert systems. They are rule-based systems to emulate decision making, like structured tasks, guided procedures. I want also to talk about optimization algorithms, so mathematical models to maximize or minimize outcomes. For example, in production planning, logistics, routing. Then we have machine learning. This includes models that learn from data to make predictions, like machine failures, identifying quality issues. We have deep learning. It's a subset of machine learning using neural networks. And then we have generative AI, basically capable of creating coherent responses, writing text, generating code, or even assisting operators through natural language. So now let's begin with the first case. These are textile companies that produce and supply customized products, and the problem was common. Everything was tracked on paper, so production start, pauses, reports, task endings, and it was hard to know what was happening on the shop floor in real time. So we implemented digital tracking systems integrated with ERP. So the operators used mobile devices to report the activity as happens. And this gave them full visibility over their operations. They reduced the administrative tasks, and they eliminated as well inconsistent in data collection. So it was small change, but with a big impact. The second case is a set of companies that manufactures textile products, and their my touch point is to improve the efficiency of their machines. So their machines are the things to be improved. They have looms, and they had little or no connectivity, and the performance was very difficult to measure. So we installed non-intrusive sensors, like this one I have here. With these smart IoT devices, they could capture the key production data. So machine status, speed, stop times, and without having to modify the equipment. It's a good example of how IoT can bring value even if in older and semi-automated environments. Third case involves quality control by using artificial intelligence. A company wanted to improve how they detected the visual defects on their products. So we trained a deep learning model using thousands of production images, and the system could then automatically identify defects on the line, attending operators in real time. So the result is that these inspections became faster, more objective, and well documented as well. And the last example I'd like to share is about generative AI. In a first step, what we did here is we provided an expert system, so kind of assistant for the tailors in the selling process. In the second step, we connected it to the manufacturing of these customized garments. And we are now in the third stage of the implementation. So we have developed a custom assistant trained with companies' internal documents like user manuals, workflows, technical data, procedures, so the workers could now interact with it in natural language. Well, and that's all for me today. I'm sorry not having more time, but thank you anyway for attending this session. And if you want to move forward in some of the things that you have seen today, please give me a call, contact me, and I'll be very pleased to be sharing with you. All right, have a good day.
Uh, so thank you, first of all, for the invitation to be here today and present a little bit of the work that we are doing at Smartex. Okay, so we all know some of the problems that the textile industry faces, a lot of them related to the part of textile waste, to the market challenges, to kind of the complex value chain that we have and we need to deal with to get the products to the market. And also to one of the factors in which we are very focused at Smartex that relates to the human inspection and then touches some of the topics that I mentioned before and has a really strong impact in what is the quality of the fabrics, what is the waste generated in the production process, and of course the environmental impact that it has in the end. Having this in mind, we started working some years ago. Smartex started in 2018 to develop an inspection system for this type of machines, for circular machines, where we introduce a lot of hardware inside of the machine, cameras, lights, sensors, and using this, we are able to inspect the fabric when it's being produced using different cameras. We inspect 100% of the fabric, and this way, using AI, we're able to identify defects, register the defects, and this way, we can reduce the defect rates that we have in this type of processes that can go up to 3% roughly. And it's possible to decrease this defect rate to close to 0%. So we are saving a lot of material, a lot of working hours, and of course, this will have impact in terms of savings in terms of also several environmental aspects. So this is just a schematic of the system where you have the cameras inside of the machine, a tablet that the operator can use to interact with the system to check the production and to change different parameters if needed, and also the computer on the factory that is used to process part of the images, analyze, and then take decisions based on the image analysis that we do. Just to give you a brief idea, these are some types of defects that we can detect inside of the machines. As you can see, they are very, very tiny, very small defects that are very hard to find through the human eye, even more if you consider that the part of the machine where we do the inspection is rotating at the time that we're doing the inspection. And this will touch a lot of defects related to the part of the needles, the part of the hardware of the machine, but also to the raw materials that are used, and also to possible contaminations, mostly contaminations by the oil, by the use of the machines or maintenance of the machine. And this becomes even more complex to detect if you consider the large number of textile structures, the large number of raw materials that are used, that will increase the complexity in identifying the defects in this process in real time and in very complex conditions where the system is installed. Besides the part of the hardware and the software in the tablet that we use to inspect and to interact with the system, we also created a Smartex fact platform, which is basically the fact platform that aggregates all the information that we're collecting, not just from one machine, but from all the machines in the factory floor. So the production manager can have access in real time to what's happening in their machines in terms of quality, but also a lot of different parameters regarding the part of the production, like number of the defects, type of defects, the percentage of defective production, so very related to the part of the product. But we can also collect a lot of information about the machinery statistics, like the performance of the machine, the status, the rotations per minute, the productivity of the machine, and if there's kind of systematic problem in that machine that they can address and increase the productivity. And of course, a lot of information about the fabric rolls, like the coordinates of the defects that can be used later on, such as in the part of the cutting of the fabric. They can optimize the cutting if they know beforehand where the defects are and increase the productivity and the use of the fabric in the specific roll. And all this information can also be shared beforehand with your clients. So when they receive the fabrics from the clients, their suppliers, they already know the quality of the rolls that they're going to receive, if there's some type of defects, and also can plan the production in those factories according to the raw materials that they will be receiving, instead of being surprised many times, but the rolls that we received and problems that come with these fabric rolls. By doing the inspection, we're also able to understand, of course, the amount of defects in a specific roll, and using this, we can automatically grade the roll regarding to its quality and help the knitting factories decide if the roll needs to be inspected again. If they have, for instance, a grade D roll, they will need to check the roll for specific defects, and if they can send this roll to the client, depending on the quality of the roll. And if the roll is classified with a very good quality, they can skip the part of the inspection, and increasing the speed of the process inside of the factory and reducing the amount of resources that they need to process the entire factory. All of this can be checked, like I mentioned, in Smartex fact platform, where they can consult the story of the rolls produced in the factory, produced in the machines. They can check the quality. So a lot of information that we are gathering, not just on the part of the quality of the rolls, but also as a management tool for the machines that they have installed in the factory. And these are typically machines that don't have a lot of technology, don't have a lot of sensing technology, a lot of communications. So we need this type of add-ons in the knitting machines to collect this information and make, of course, the information useful to the persons that will take the decisions on top of the data that they are collecting. We started with a part of quality control with the inspection systems, but then we started noticing that after we introduced a lot of hardware, machine vision, AI in the factories, they will take a paper and write on the paper the quality of the roll, information about the roll, and then will lose the paper or they will lose somehow the information. So we started working in Smartex Loop, which is a traceability platform that is associated with the inspection system. So we're able to inspect the fabric, and after the fabric is inspected, when the operators will weight the roll, they can apply this label with a QR code specific to the roll and with some information also about the quality of the roll and properties of the roll. In this way, they can use this roll with a QR code to track the roll throughout the rest of the value chain until the part of the cutting of the roll. And this will go through the different factories. This can go through dyeing, finishing, which is really important to have very resistant labels to chemical and physical attack that will withstand the processes and get to the end of the process, enabling the traceability of the roll and adding additional information on top of the information that we have for that specific roll. So this is just some ideas of information that we can put inside of the Loop Passport, information about the knitting facility, production details, fabric type, structure, production weight. So a lot of information that will be useful throughout the rest of the value chain and the use of the roll, and again, until the part of the cutting, and that's a different story that still needs to be addressed. So this Loops Passport kind of becomes the warranty of the roll because we can get a lot of information and assure that this roll comes from a specific factory, a specific time, and a specific machine with very determined raw materials. So a lot of control on what's going on and all the path that this roll has been through, and this can be included little by little in this label. One very important topic for us is the impacts of the inspection systems, of introducing the inspection systems into the factories. And this is a case study that we did in a company in Italy. And what we see is that by introducing the inspection systems, we're able to save a lot of fabric, 132 kilograms, and also a lot of production time in the companies. And this is extended to all the machines in the factory. And of course, we can increase this reach of the impacts of the system if you consider that the defects can go to the part of finishing and dyeing, and then we're saving a lot of water, CO2 emissions, and also a lot of energy waste because it's a very energy intensive process. And this, of course, extends to a large number of factories and installations that we do. Of course, it's impossible to do this without our dear clients that help us and support us for the development of the system, our investors, of course, and also the partners, fashion brands, and also technology development institutions who cooperate. And of course, we need a beautiful team to build this product and get these products into the textile factories. So our mission, to empower textile factories to produce with zero waste and full transparency. So thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Right. I just briefly take you by the hand by showing you a solution, a technical solution which we implemented in one of our machines. And the presentation name is How Did the Artificial Intelligence Get into the Center in a Very Practical World? So who are we and what do we do? We're a German-Italian company. We are manufacturing is based in Germany, right in the middle of it, Paderborn, close to my favorite football club, Borussia Dortmund. And we are a producer of elastomeric warp knits and weft knits, and have specialized over the last couple of years in a technology where in the Western Hemisphere, that means Europe and North and South America, we're the only one having those specific machines. And we're producing body mapping fabrics with different compression and design. That means this is really a unique selling point where we can integrate in a piece of fabric wherever you want, whatever level of compression, next to lower compression, medium compression, whatsoever, and can add design on top. That's what we do. And you can see here one example. This is a Lululemon tight. And I just wanted to, I flagged this because you can in this leg, if you put it on, you see that, and you will feel that you have very different zonings in this following your body. For example, at the lower part, you have like a compression sock, really strong support, then opening up in the knee where you need a lot of flexibility. And you can see going into the bum area and the thigh that as well, again, you have different compression zones. Now, why do I show this? This is nice in the garment, but to make it, it's slightly different and difficult because it's a complex operation where we suddenly, as a fabric manufacturer, have the issue and the topic that we need to place and run and reproduce the fabric through our processings in a way that the garment manufacturer, which we are not, is able to have the sizes he decided and can use in garment form. So I'm jumping into, no, it's not working. Oh, this is good. Oh, now it's working. Okay. What did we do? We did it together with the ETA in the University of Aachen, the textile body there. There were a number of people. Officially, it was called Reproducibility and Quality Assurance in the Production of Close Contour, Accurately Fitting Compression Knitting Fabrics and Thermofixing Machines. This is a very boring but the right description. I jump immediately into what we actually did. I don't know whether you've seen a stentor, but what we do is we feed in a machine fabric here, as you can see. I hope you can see my cursor. And we heat set it so that it has the properties we actually need, with the ability now that because of the placements of the compression, the fabric suddenly becomes actually the garment. It just needs to be cut out and then needed to be manufactured and seamed together. There's one seam. It's not a seam free, but a seam reduced garment. Now, what you can imagine is we have this complex product where we need to be very precise at the outcome for the garment, and we have often changes. So we have a number of parameters which are changing depending on what style it is, what size it is, and so forth. And we found together with in the working of around 18 months developing this tool, which I'm going to show you, we had a massive amount of numbers already available, but we need to make it in a way that by installing a camera system, measuring the tools, link it to the machine so that the machine itself is, first of all, after the feeding into the inside at the beginning, learning what happens at the end with the fabric, learning by itself, controlling the data, and now running the fabric by itself with all the different parameters which need to be controlled. Now, don't forget the slide is just showing there are massive amounts of parameters. And of course, you can ask 300 people to analyze this, but there is artificial intelligence coming into place with the algorithm which were provided by the university. We came to these kind of clusterings. And the clustering says we have similar articles, we can group things, and we can make the machine learning over a while how the fabric is actually reacting, clustering these kind of things, leading basically then to a suggestion. So if we go today with a new fabric into the stentor, we feed the machine with the data, and out of this learning curve and the data the algorithm are providing, there is a suggestion made to start the development and to run the fabric. With the fact that you have, of course, in production, in bulk production, you have set it up and the machine does it all by itself. And this is leading then to this, finally, to this decision tree. You know what a decision tree is. You have input values, And you have these suggestions, which the developer finally then signs off and can run this product. Again, the machine, because it's an artificial intelligence, it's learning, it's dragging the new information down and repeatedly learning. And that has helped us in the last, we established this 4 years ago, to make our reproducibility much higher, to make the product stable, and to cut the learning curve by new products which we initiate and go into market with. So these are the 3 beneficial things which we have been learning. It took, from our side, probably 2 people over 18 months, together with the University of Aachen, to establish this. It was run by a ZIM project, so we got subsidiaries from the state, both, but it's running perfectly well, and we're very happy with the outcome. That's it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. So as Andrew said, I'm with Advanced Technical Concepts. We're based here in Ireland. We have, you can see that, Andrew, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, Marcus, can you just mute yourself?
Oh, sorry.
The previous presenter. Yeah,
of course,
sorry.
yeah, no, I thought.
Yeah, thanks. Now you can continue, Mary. Sorry for this.
So we're based here in Shannon in County Clare in Ireland. We have 27 team members currently. We are 32 years in business, and we supply into several industry sectors, so med device, pharmaceutical, aerospace, etc. I thought I'd play a little short video. It's just less than a minute, just gives you a good idea of what we're about. So if that's okay, I'll just play that. Hopefully it works. See?
Yeah, we can see your video, Mary. We cannot hear your sound, but I see it's a short clip, so if there is anything you need to highlight, you can do it.
Okay, I'll leave it at that, just to give a flavour of what we're about. So just we have several different business streams, but the 2 essential ones here for the production floor are the industrial furniture. So we make a lot of, very bespoke height adjustable benches, racks, that kind of thing. So they're all going into production environments where there's a lot of either material handling or storage solutions required. And then we have a fabrication facility, which is obviously your more traditional side of using stainless steel and that to build similar furniture. So we often marry solutions from both together that give us our unique selling point. So just to move on, I suppose, how did we engage with this project? So we were looking to digitalize our information. We have a lot of information on SAP Business One, which is our ERP system, but our difficulty was trying to extract that, number one, and number two, extract it in a way that is meaningful and that would make it stand out to us, so that we're paying attention really to the information that's important, as opposed to looking at information that we don't really need to be focused on. So I think from our perspective, part of the transition, I suppose, to using Power BI to do that was that we do have very much a lean mindset in ATC, and we have been on a lean journey since 2018. So we've been involved in benchmarking ourselves against other companies. We've visited other companies doing 2-second lean, which we found much easier to implement than maybe the likes of using green belts or that. So the traditional lean tools. So that means that we're very much focused here in every process, how can we make it better? How can we make it easier to do things? So that was kind of the background, and we became members then of IDM, and were introduced to Factory Exchange. And it was through that we started working with the Technological University of the Shannon, and in particular with Sandeep Yoshi there. So we've been working now with Sandeep for quite some time, and we've 2 projects completed. So as I said, the thing for us was, how do we best align our operations with our strategic objectives? We really, we were really struggling. We had to make bespoke reports on SAP, but like I said, you wouldn't necessarily get the relevant information that you wanted. So our starting point was that we sat down with Sandeep, and we went through the data that we currently have and how best do we extract it. But one of the big things for us was we didn't want to introduce any additional software, ideally. We did, talking to other partners, we had looked at Tableau, etc. But again, with Sandeep's experience, we were able to go, well, look, we have the Microsoft package as well. So hence we looked at Power BI, and that proved to be really, really good for us. So yeah, so on the production side, we started with production because we wanted to get a quick win on seeing whether we were ahead or behind for use at our daily production meetings. So typically, every morning we bring the production manager, quality, the design team, the manufacturing team lead, and sometimes I'll attend as well, and someone from procurement to the production floor, and we'll just go through the main KPIs. And basically we're looking at what's on the production floor. Is it on schedule? Is there anything holding it up? And that's where procurement might have an issue getting a particular part, for example. So we had, like I say, we had all this data in SAP, and through the use of SQL and Power BI, we were able to extract. And you see here what it looks like now. So this gives us an overview of where we are. It shows us our delays. Are we early or are we on time? And then we can drill down into particular jobs. We can see the hours allocated to the job. Again, are we ahead or behind? So it really has made us much more proactive in managing our day-to-day, which subsequently has meant that the number of delays has reduced. So hence we're giving our customers a much better experience, which was the objective. So that was on the production side. And then we more recently completed something similar, but on the sales side. So again, we wanted to be able to see with our customers, are we ahead or behind versus last year? We also were able to drill down how many inquiries we're getting per customer, how many are we converting, and that again allows us to see where our priorities should be and who our best customers are, and potentially who are our time wasters as well. So again, just allowing us to focus in a much easier manner. And I guess from my perspective, if it's easier to use, it will be used. So again, this particular dashboard gives us a bird's eye view of our pipeline, and it allows us to initiate actions, follow-up calls, etc., based on what we're seeing or not seeing. So again, allowing us to be much more in touch with our customers in a more timely manner. So I suppose my learnings would be take time to choose your partner. We had spoken to several different partners before we decided to work with TUS and Factory Exchange, and that's been very, very successful for us. There are a lot of partners out there who will tell you they can do things, but they really do need to get deep into the business to really understand the requirements, and it's not always as straightforward as it seems. I think as a business owner, it's essential we're very clear on what we're looking to achieve and what what we can afford to spend. Like I say here, if you have existing software, if you can use it or get an add-on, much better than getting another piece of software that you'll have licenses on and more expenditure on down the road. From our perspective, definitely the open mindset really helps, because again, at the end of the day, these will only work if you can get your people to adopt them. And as we like to say here, the first improvement is often the least best. So it's to keep improving. And even since we've completed these particular dashboards, these are actually not static. They keep changing. We keep adding more to them. We keep changing the layout because we realized, okay, we need to focus more on another area. And I would say ultimately for us in particular, and I think for all maybe small businesses, it's if we can bring some of the know-how into in-house, it really helps. So here at ATC, we're lucky we have one team member who is very good on SAP, doesn't have an IT background, but just is very, very good at SAP, and he's able to pick up on Power BI too. So that's a big help as we try to develop some more reports internally. So yeah, that's it from me. If anyone wants to reach out and has any questions, I'm open to talking further.
So yeah, now we have some minutes for the Q&A session. I don't know if anyone have any questions, that just ask them on the chat, I guess, or raise your hands on the call. If not, I will start by asking a question I had here in my notes during the presentations for Miguel Ribeiro, if he's still, I can see he's still on the call. So you mentioned the Loop Passport briefly at the end. Can you just talk a bit more about this Loop Passport and its use cases that you have in mind for this? Or, yeah.
Like I mentioned in the presentation, the loop was one kind of a necessity that we identified to complement the inspection system that we developed. Then we started to aggregate a lot of information, more information that we are collecting, also bring information from the company's ERPs, so we can have the integration of the information about the production and about the quality, so we can have this concentrated information in the single structure. But the idea for the future is to have more integrations of other hardwares or other softwares that are gathering information that may seem suitable to integrate with information that we are collecting today. So we don't see Loop as a closed Smartex platform. We see this as a good tool to either gather information from other platforms and have the information integrated with what we are collecting, or use the information that you are collecting to integrate into other platforms. So we don't see it as a closed system. We see this as a collaborative tool with other companies working in similar topics.
Okay, that was my question. Thanks a lot for the answer. I was seeing on the chat here a question about the Lululemon leggings. I think this was for Marcus, but could not find them. Are they on the market yet? So the answer is already on the chat. I don't know if there are any other questions. We still have 2 minutes, I think. Okay, Catherine has a question here.
My question is for Marie, just because I know she's been working with us here in Hughes for a while now, with Sandy specifically, and maybe just if there's a company just starting out on the digitalization journey, what advice would you give, like where to start?
So thanks, Katrine. Personally, I think there needs to be a certain element of a lean culture. Like I would nearly start with the blank whiteboard and start with what are the important things that we need to look at every day if it's a production meeting, for example. Because I think at one stage I know I was considering making that kind of digitalization leap, but with hindsight, this was probably 2 years ago, we wouldn't have been ready. So I think it's important to you know, think I suppose long and hard about what information do we want first, and then do we have that information in some sort of format already, that, you know, maybe we can extract it. So yeah, I would just think a little bit deeper, maybe talk to some people that have made that leap too.
Yeah, thank you, Mary, for the answer. Yeah, I have no more questions here on the chat. So thank you, Marta. Thank you for all the speakers that were presenting on this session. I don't know if you want to add anything else, Marta, now.
No, just a reminder for the next session, and well, we set the date 7th of May at the beginning. So that's it. Thank you for coming, and thank you for for presenting, and all the persons also speaking. Thank you for sharing your vision on this important topic.